Tonight, some spooky events for students and faculty.
Plus, students have a chance to meet future employers. Stay tuned. TrojanVision News starts now.
From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network and Troy campuses around the world, this is TrojanVision News.
Hello and welcome to TrojanVision News for October 29, 2014. I'm Xavier Harris.
And I'm Haley Greathouse. Thank you for joining us this evening. Career fairs help college students network and find career opportunities. This morning, some education majors had an opportunity to meet with potential employers. The College of Education held a career fair Wednesday morning for all of the students currently interning and looking for jobs.
I think it's a great opportunity that Troy puts on for its education majors because we're swamped right now in internship and paperwork and everything. And so the fact that Troy can bring these employers to us is a really great opportunity.
Students came with their resumes in hand, and Hubbard explains how he prepared.
We went to a meeting a few weeks ago, all the interns, and we kind of got some tips for how to interview, and I just kind of stayed up last night preparing answers for any questions that they might pose.
Each employer is looking for specific characteristics in applicants.
We look at a well-rounded person that's solid in all of the different fields of education.
We're just looking for prepared students, and we look for students that are maybe interested in coming to maybe a small rural system like Geneva County Schools.
And applicants are looking for specific characteristics in schools.
Well, I'm an English language arts major, so it would be great if it were more of a liberal arts-based school, but that's not necessarily everything I'm looking for, and I would love if it were a technology-based school as well.
Well, the transition from college to career is hard for every major. For education majors, one recruiter says the hardest challenge is going from theory to practice in the classroom.
Probably just the practicality of what it is, because in college you're often taught theories and things like that, but in the real world you get into the day-to-days, the dealings of day-to-day life, and the struggle with today's kid is certainly no different than it ever has been, but their challenges are just different.
The event was for the education majors currently interning and looking to graduate within the next year.
Halloween is this Friday, and some Troy University organizations are looking to get into the spirit of being spooky a little early. If you're driving past Elm Street tonight, you might see some unusual characters. Sorority Hill will be open for Haunted Hill from 5:30 to 6:30. Members from each organization will dress up, passing out candy and playing field games with their families on Haunted Hill. Haunted Hill is an annual event the Greek community does each year to give back to the community. This event is free and open to the public. Once again, Haunted Hill is tonight from 5:30 to 6:30 on Sorority Hill.
And after Haunted Hill, students can head to Tailgate Terrace for some fun. Each week, the University Activities Council holds various events to give students a break from the day-to-day stresses of the school. And tonight, the UAC is holding an event to get students in the spirit of fall. Oktoberfest starts at 6 o'clock tonight and will wrap up around 10. Oktoberfest will be held on Tailgate Terrace. The event will include bungee trampolines, a mechanical bull, the danger zone, a photo booth, and wax hands. There will also be free food and music. This event is taking place of the annual Haunted House. Once again, the event will be tonight from 6 to 10 on Tailgate Terrace.
Well, Haley, many students come to Troy University to find their home away from home, and they get to find many different things that they're looking for.
And that's right, Xavier. And Troy offers many different organizations to fit each student's needs. Today, Austin Cofield looks at the Computer Science Club.
The Computer Science Club is a community of techies, computer enthusiasts, and code junkies alike. But if you are unfamiliar with such things or just don't quite yet have a good feel for the technological world, don't feel hesitant to drop by and check it out. With the helpful community, you may just find a spot in the club.
Well, when I first moved here, I just kind of looked into it and I was kind of chose it randomly. But now that I'm in here, I really like it and it's pretty interesting. But I had to get into it to start.
Between the club meetings every other week, you'll still find the officers gathering their own meetings like this one to plan out game nights, club activities, and other ways to further the club and expand their horizons.
I joined the club so I can feel like I make an impact, because being in Troy University, it's like we kind of overshadowed sometimes by Auburn or Alabama. And the benefits of the Computer Science Club, it enhances computer science students so they can have a better future. And if I feel like I'm a part of something like that, even if a little bit I can help them out, that'd be amazing.
The Computer Science Club meets here in room 114 of the Math and Science building every other week. But even non-members can attend the weekly workshop sessions that the Computer Science Club hosts. In these sessions, students learn about the resume and interview process involved with computer science-related careers.
Primarily, we go over the basics of interviews and internships and jobs in general. And then we even go over technical aspects like what you need to know to pass interviews, what you need to do, like what you'll be doing on the job. So things that people should be studying outside of their classes and what they should pay attention to in their classes, like what's important, like what's really important for the future job.
So whether you're looking for gamers, help with coding, a friendly community, or advice on internships and interviews, students are encouraged to come by and give it a try. Austin Cofield, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Tune in again tomorrow night for another look at our Organization Spotlight series.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. An Enterprise lawmaker accused of perjury says he was truthful when he testified before a grand jury investigating public corruption. Representative Barry Moore took the stand today in Opelika in his own defense.
A 16-year-old Athens high school football player faces charges of assault with a deadly weapon after police say an 18-year-old teammate was hurt in a knife attack on the team in the locker room. The Athens police chief say fellow football players subdued the younger boy and were able to wrestle the pocket knife from him yesterday afternoon inside the athletic field house.
Jefferson County's medical examiner says there have been 100 heroin-related deaths in the county this year, surpassing the 58 that were recorded in 2013. Chief Medical Examiner Gregory Davis says he thinks more people are experimenting with the drug, but doesn't think that the drug itself has become more lethal. And still to come on TrojanVision News, the soccer team received weekly awards yet again. Amy Austin will have the details on that when she joins us in sports.
Plus, a NASA rocket exploded while carrying supplies. We'll have that story and more after the break.
Scientists and investigators get a daylight look at the debris after a rocket and cargo ship explode after liftoff. I'm Craig Boswell in Wallops Island, Virginia. That story coming up.
This is Dr. Daniel Smith. He's an expert in domestic and international economics. But his proudest achievement is connecting with his students and helping them accomplish more than they ever thought possible. That's the warrior spirit, and it's alive and well at Troy University. Feel it at troy.edu/spirit.
What's it like when you hear your calling? Will you ignore it? Or will you listen? What if it calls you to go halfway around the world? To serve people you've never met? What will you do when you hear your calling? Peace Corps, life is calling. How far will you go?
Now, the latest in Trojan sports on Troy TrojanVision News.
The soccer team earned weekly honors this week. Junior midfielder Alyssa Jones was named the Sunbelt Conference Offensive Player of the Week. Jones tied Troy's single-game record for assists. She has also set Troy's single-season records for points in a season, assists, game-winning goals, and shots. Freshman goalkeeper Mickey Lewis was named Sunbelt Conference Defensive Player of the Week. Lewis had shutout games against both UALR and Arkansas State this past weekend. And head coach Jason Hamilton said all players have been beneficial to the team, but Jones has been especially.
3 assists on Friday and then 2 goals on Sunday, a huge part in both wins. She set the record for single season points. She's a player who was, had her previous years here played more of a defensive role, and didn't take long for us in the preseason to kind of feel that she could bring a lot more to the attack. So we moved her up to a little bit higher position on the field, and it's paid off real well. She's, I think, leading the conference in assists. She's second in goals. So she's having a great season for us.
This was the second time for Jones to be named Player of the Week and the third time for Lewis. The men's golf team finished up play at the Intercollegiate at the Grove today. The team finished in second place thanks to sophomore Jared Betcher's top 5 performance. The Trojans shot a .299 during the final round of the tournament, led by Betcher, who had an even par round. Senior Tolver Dozier also pushed the Trojans into second. Dozier finished in 14th place after shooting a .222. Troy finished with an overall score of 882, putting them just behind Ohio State, who ended with 874. This was the last fall tournament for the Trojans. The Trojans will be back in action in February. The women's golf team completed their fall season this past week. The Trojans competed in 4 tournaments throughout the 2014 fall season. The women took 9th place of 12 in their first tournament, but then improved to 1st and 2nd in the next 2 tournaments. The final competition for the Trojans will completed, and they will.
We got a little bit better. We played better each week, kind of through the fall. Always good to get a win. You know, we picked up a win in our second event of the fall. You know, a second the next week. So while we take a lot of really positive things from the fall, you know, we're going to take some of those things we need to clean up, as well as the good, and take it into the spring and try to get a little better.
The women's golf team will be back in action in the spring, beginning in February. The football team has had a rough go this season. The team currently stands at 1-7 overall and 1-3 in conference play. The Trojans have had a tough couple of weeks. Within just the past 13 days, the football team has played at home, traveled on the road, and will travel to play 3 different football games. With games in such close proximity, the players are having a hard time getting rest and recuperating between each game, and head coach Larry Blakeney said several of his key players on both sides of the ball are hurt.
We're not good. You know, we got some key people that are hurt, key people that some definitely won't play and some might not play. But we got some guys that are valuable to us on both sides of the ball and not play.
The football team takes the field tomorrow night against Georgia Southern beginning at 6:30.